The turmoil of the time came out the Medu Art Ensemble, where artists coexisted, co-created, and did things together. You were amongst the likes of Tumi, Lebo, Kwangwa. How did that time feel for you?
That was a very, very important time because we were learning something. We were learning that the struggle has two forms in the initial stages. One is that there are those things that you do above board, where everybody is looking at you, but you are mobilizing people in a certain direction. And we thought arts and culture is a very strong weapon for that. And we did that. I mean, we had about 7 units in Medu. We had music, we had theater, we had film, we had photography, painting, and the other two, many of them. And we mobilized Botswana, American expatriates, English expatriates, many people from Southern Africa, and we worked together, as you say. Jonas Gwangwa was there, Hugh Masekela was there, Letambuli was there, Kefa Siming, and many, many other musicians. Tumi Mnyele was there. And I think in engaging the arts themselves and in creating a platform for discussions about arts and culture in South Africa, or in Southern Africa, and on the continent and in the world, it was a very different level of conscientization. We're conscientizing ourselves. But there was another part to Medu. We were also forming an underground to take war to the Boers, you see. So in that regard, we're training people to work underground. We're training people in the military. We're training people in various other forms of warfare, you know. And we recruited people from inside the country and turned them back into the country. There are many people who I know. Some of them have become ministers. Some of them have become whatever. Some of them are in the army, who came from that process of Medu Art Ensemble. We are at that period in our lives where we should be asking ourselves, what is African Renaissance? What must we be doing with the arts, with culture, to engage in conceptualization, in propagating the issue of African Renaissance in our country and on the continent.
Having been in the arts and culture sector this long and having worn so many different hats, what are some of the highlights of this journey?
You know, the highlight for me in the arts and culture was when we organized what we call Culture and Resistance. And about 2,000 South African cultural workers convened in Gaborone. And when you sat there in the festival part of it, and you saw theater, music, dance, and you saw film, photography, and you saw the literature, it gave you a total picture of what happens in South Africa. So you had a broad picture, a very vibrant picture, a mirror of what we can do as South Africans in the arts. I'm rather disturbed. I'm rather thinking a lot as to what happened after we came back, because somehow we seemed to have gone into a deep. You know, after all of that. You know, there was a time when you went to Australia, you'd meet South Africans in theater. You went to Cuba, you'd meet South Africans, Britain, America, wherever. But now the situation has changed. But this is the time when it should be absolutely vibrant and articulate through the arts. We have a lot of stories which we must share with other human beings in the world.
Of all the books you've penned in your life, and please let's take Wayakalinkomo and put it aside because it seems like the shining star of your life. But what work do you sit back and pride yourself in of all the books you've penned?
You know, it's very funny because once you put the last full stop on any book and you put it there, it has its own life and you seem to forget about it. So at the present moment, I'm very preoccupied with what I said in Rumors, you know, my last novel. But I'm outgrowing it too, because I've started to write another novel. So I wouldn't know if you were to ask me questions now about to every breath is blood. I don't know anymore. It's far in the distance, you know. So I live with a book that I write, and I feel right at last I've said what I had to say.
What makes writing and poetry worth waking up for every morning?
Sometimes I wonder myself.